Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Absolutely. I'm gonna mute you definitely for a minute.
All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to turn down the music volume here. We're going to get into it here shortly. Once again, today we have got our individuals on Luxta, Horse, Apo, and Solar, who is the chat engagement coordinator. It looks like the chat is all screwed up and it is going over the Word document, so we will remove that from the stream. But let's go ahead and bring them in now. You guys are going to have to give me some feedback, though, and let me know if you can hear them or not. Here they come. All right, guys, we are live. If we can just do a voice check, make sure chat can hear you, please.
Boom, boom, baby. I miss you guys.
Everyone hear Apo?
Yes.
All right, outstanding. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, Queen. So it has been a few weeks since we've done one of these. So really, first thing, I just want to kind of touch base with these guys and see where they are at, what they've been doing, how they've been doing. George, we'll start with you. Horse 2377. How's your KVK going? What's going on there?
Well, our KVK just started a few weeks ago, and we had a crazy 5-day long Zone 5, which was unexpected and genuinely fun. And I personally had an extra fun because I met the same people we fought against in the Amsterdam meetup a few days prior to that. So it was nice to be able to see them in real life and then fight them in game right after it.
And you guys won Zone 5, yes?
Yes.
Outstanding. Nice work. Solar, what's been going on there in 2293?
So nothing much. We just registered for KOAB, and so we'll be in KVK in a week and a half. So I'm super excited. It's gonna be my first like competitive KVK personally. So
The one trick pony.
except I am no longer the one trick. I am not rallying most likely. So it'll be
Oh,
just a one trick field pony.
nice, nice. Luxta 3303, 19 billion power, what 1.6 trillion kill points? What's on the horizon for 3303? How you guys doing?
Yeah, hey, what's up, everyone? We're just practicing getting our OL team together and starting early, trying to get that all the coordination together and the chemistry, and so that's all good. Everyone's still kind of settling in. I think most people are actually probably pretty much settled in right now. So we're just just grinding forts right now. We're in off season, and yeah, registration to be determined.
Yeah, maybe you'll meet up with Solar in the same KVK.
There's a there's a chance we're getting up there.
Solar, run very fast. Oh,
I'll do this.
Apo, if you want to hit on 3777.
Absolutely. Boom, boom. Good morning, everybody from New Zealand. I hope you're everybody good. 3777. Everything is good here. For sure, KVK was pretty big. We've been in the spotlight for a couple of not very nice things. But after that, my focus, like you always know me, guys, I only focus on the positive things. I focus on what I built this project for. So right now, we're smashing forts. We're trying to work on our recruitment, on what's happening next. This is all we're doing right now. I'm right now personally working on some recruitment videos and what we're going to do in the future of 3777. Other than that, everything is good. Everything is positive. And Apple's always chilling and happy.
Happy, happy, happy.
Damn right, baby. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you, Goldie? Thank you for the $2. Appreciate you.
Boom, boom.
As far as 1029, we won our Zone 5. We had some crazy, insane battles. You know, my hat's off to the enemy kingdoms in Water Camp, or Wind Camp, sorry, we're Water Camp. It was insane. This was honestly 18 KVKs. This was the first KVK that I have ever been in that we had to fight for the sanctuary when the sanctuary opened. So it has been absolute blast. We're now prepping for Pass 7. We had our first altar fight yesterday, which we were fortunate enough to win as well. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. As you can see, we're doing the normal. Carpet bombing the zone as much as we can. These guys are good. It's gonna be a blast. Pass 7, the 3 days between Pass 7 and Kingsland, and then Kingsland looks to be a brutal fight on all sides.
Damn, I'm excited. I'm playing that KVK. It made me more excited. God damn.
Yeah, you don't have to play in 3777 anymore. You can fully dedicate your time to 1029, right?
Yeah, that sounds. I need to redo my entry. I didn't realize we're talking about KVK. After you started talking, I was like, what the heck? I was just talking about the end, didn't talk about nothing about, how KVK was amazing. God damn, man, remove me, bro. Nah, you're good, man.
We're all good. We're all good. So I think that's where we're at right now. So Lamar, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone in the chat as well. So I know 1029 and Horse, hopefully you met several of the 1029 folks when you were in Amsterdam yourself. But I know we had like 5 people there. I know Horse, you were there. So just want to give you the floor for a few minutes to talk about The Amsterdam meetup. Did you have a good time? What new things did you learn? What did you like? What did you not like? And we'll turn it over to you.
It was great in a very short sentence.
Oh, cut it out. Be honest.
No, really. I was
Just
amazed by
kidding,
how
sorry.
well it was, how well it was organized. And one thing I learned in the meetup was the difference between the team willing to do the updates we wanted and then them actually happening. It's not as simple as it seems. Like, for example, we always talk about the pilot issues, and I saw that they were also thinking about it. It wasn't a taboo subject. They even made jokes about it on stage because they are also trying to solve the problem, right? It's not as self-evident as they may seem. So if we go on the face-to-face that we saw, there are a few updates that are really nice. The Kingdom Info tool, I find it nice.
Where do I go in game to see that again?
In the city on the whiteboard.
In the city on the whiteboard. I got so much crap in my city.
Good luck finding it. Your city is so packed. Oh, there
He
it is.
doesn't even know what is this whiteboard notice board, Lambo. It's a structure that nobody uses.
Oh, okay. It pops up a separate website.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like Storm, what's up?
All right, hang on. Desktop. There we go. So Kingdom Info. You can see how much I've used this. Ooh, they have tech in here. Activity.
Yes.
We suck.
Apparently the tech, based on what they said, is the sort of spending capability of the kingdom in the past KVKs.
Crystal Tech rating.
That's amazing.
Yep. Crystal Tech rating. Outstanding.
They listened. That's insane.
Yep.
Very nice. Hopefully they incorporate that into matchmaking then too, right?
I assume it is. It should be. I don't know.
Total power, total deads. I still want that breakdown. T1 through T5, right? Kill points. Nice. So they're giving us more and more stats in game. I still think kingdoms like ProKingdoms.com, Hero Scrolls, I still think those are going to be valuable assets for kingdoms to use until or if, I don't know if they even can build that type of data in here. I use Pro Kingdoms on a daily basis. I use Hero Scrolls on a daily basis myself. And
Yeah, and I would like to add to that as well, Limbo. That I don't ever think these things gonna be not usable, because there is no way you're gonna find anything about kill point dead ratio, because this is gonna implement within the game environment where everybody feels challenged. They made that quite clear from a long time ago that they do not want to do that specifically for that reason. The pressures that come with it and stuff. So it's one of the things that I think why Hero Scroll and Pro Kingdoms are very valuable in a way.
they always will be. They always will be. Right? So that said, our topics of discussion today were surrounding mainly kingdom management and immigration control. Now, when the four of us were discussing in our private chats, we had talked about immigration control, and you can lock a kingdom down, but accounts under 25 million can still migrate to that kingdom. There are many, many times that those accounts still have an impact on matchmaking or can wreak havoc in a kingdom, whether it's, killing farmers or, just being a complete and total nuisance with gold head events, with mightiest governor events and that type of thing. So I think we were discussing the ability to lock a kingdom down fully from any migrating players, as long as the kingdom doesn't meet the requirements of a merger kingdom. Was there anything else related to immigration that needs to be tweaked? And we'll throw it out there for anyone, chat included. Solar's monitoring the chat, so if you guys got opinions in chat, please let us know.
I have, Lambo, the problem with the things, unfortunately, it's only a problem when it's used as a weapon. Okay? There is nothing wrong with allowing young accounts to come to your kingdom under 20 million. The reason they're going to come in a later kingdom is only as farms or people that come in to sell resources, or it's what these accounts will do. But when this is used to actually cause farm killing and manipulations and, backstabbing within the kingdom, this is where there is a problem. And as a game, and you need to minimize the abuse within the game. And this is, I see these things as like candidate for ways to abuse kingdoms, players, all of these things. So yes, a king should be able to wake up in the morning when there is a lot happening and make a decision. Okay, my kingdom is on lockdown, like I can do it on Discord, like I can do it, I'm just giving you an example. I can go to my Discord server right now and say, okay, we have a problem. My Discord is on lockdown for the next week. So my kingdom is on lockdown for 1 week, for 2 days. I can control this as a king. And it should be my authority as a king to be able to control these things. Is how I see it.
So maybe have a lockdown as like a king skill, where you can lock down the kingdom for a period of time.
Well, when you get a king skill, yeah, like I appreciate the king skill, Lambo, but the king skill now we are stuck with, you can't open the kingdom until they activate it. You know what I mean? You need to also have control over these things. As a king, like I can change the cap, I can just change it to 0. Means nobody come into that kingdom.
So the ability to toggle lockdown or out of lockdown.
That's what I like. The lockdown. Yes, sir.
Okay. George?
Remind me,
Go ahead.
Oppo, in early kingdoms, especially for like KVK 2 and 3, are you still locked where you can only change it so many times?
I did not know.
Or
You don't have that problem. No, you can change it fine. Oh my god, that's really old days. Holy moly, well done. Oh. I even remember that.
Horst, do you have any similar issues in 2377?
Why isn't the kingdom like an alliance? Like we accept people or we do not accept people?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, why can't there be, even if you put it on 0 cap, why couldn't you just put, or like, people can still apply, right? And then the king, or even maybe titled, special titled or permissioned R4, maybe they could like review applications, but maybe the R4 thing would be abusable and like it'd be bad if more people have access to being able to control stuff like that. So maybe just king, but I was thinking the same thing, just like almost like KVK migration, right?
I honestly like that. I like that a lot better than locking down a kingdom. No matter what the cap is, people have to apply to the kingdom. You have to accept them or reject them. That way you have control of who's coming into the kingdom and who's not. Because it is, if there's a group of people that knows, hey, Kingdom 2377 is going to allow these 25 migrants on Sunday, September 21st at 21:30 UTC, they may be waiting there, clicking the button, trying to sneak in under the radar. I really like that.
I was thinking about that too. Like, let's say, especially for 3303, like we luckily didn't have this issue, and I wouldn't expect 1846 like to be like this because they're very respectable people. But let's say if you accepted like 10 people and they have a friend that you declined, and then they're just like, hey, they're gonna open cap, all right, go sneak in, right? It's like Now you have to deal with trying to kick the guy out, and it just creates a lot of headaches. So yeah, I agree. We definitely need to have better control over like the allowance or just control of who enters the kingdom.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now I know Fate. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't a hypothetical scenario. This actually happened in '77. A few migrations ago, I mean 2 migrations ago, we even waited a few hours, then started our migrations after opening, and still about 4 people jumped in because sometimes we had to accept and the player's game bugged or something, or it just lagged out, and the cap was open a few more seconds and few people jumped in. And that was done over multiple hours, which means there are people who are watching for this, at least a few kingdoms, who are waiting the opportunity just to go in.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one other story that I've heard is like there's stories I've heard of where the king falls asleep and then leaves the cap open. Like you just ruin your kingdom.
Oh, good lord!
Why is that a situation?
Oh, good lord!
It's a nightmare. Yeah, there's someone that did that. I don't remember exactly who was telling me this, but you just ruined your kingdom basically because you just let everyone come in.
Humble Farmer, I don't think it kills kingdoms per se, unless the king falls asleep and leaves the cap open, right? But 1 or 2 rogue players coming into a kingdom can disrupt MGEs. They can disrupt gold head events. They can kill farmers, which you need to fight, right? You need those resources to fight. You know, so I think immigration control and what we're talking about here that Luxta and Horse brought up, make it like an alliance, accept or reject any player applying to the kingdom. I think that would allow kingdoms to have greater control of the players in the kingdom. You know, those MGE spots, those gold head events, those are important for player development and to get those rally leads, to get those garrison captains, the commanders that they need for an upcoming KVK. Fake, I know you said migrate back SOC accounts to KVK4 with team migrations. I didn't quite understand that. I've never migrated backwards myself. So if you're still in chat, can you kind of expand on that a bit?
Yeah,
I can jump in if you. Oh, Isola's here. Good, you can go ahead.
So there is a thing where team migration basically works where when you go inactive for a certain period of time, I believe it's for 30 days, you enter into a period where you can join another group and group migrate to a kingdom. The nice thing is that the kingdom has to accept them, but the issue is it creates where SOC accounts can enter into KVK4, which is supposed to be that grace period for those kingdoms to grow and to be able to build them. They can get completely past that. There's even an issue of, at least for early kingdoms, if you've ever heard of what looping is, it's a thing that people can do where they can take an account. As long as you stay below 10 million, you can take it all the way to SOC, collect all the gold heads, collect all these speeds, collect everything, go inactive for 30 days, and then go all the way back to KVK1.
Really?
Can I tell you something crazy? I'm gonna top it up. You will not believe what I'm about to say. No word of a lie. I have an account in 3778. Stuck. I open it in the middle of KVK. It was off for 30 days. It pops up with something called targeted migration. And I opened the menu and I found 3777 in KVK and I was able to migrate during KVK using that targeted migration as well in KVK1. And let me tell you, those that found that hole have already secured KVK wins for the next 2 KVKs. And nobody can beat them. It's simple as one player in the whole camp, in the whole KVK, has 7 marshes with 7 legendary equipment. Nobody else can do this, even if you spend $2 million, $5 million at the beginning of the first 500 days of the game. You cannot physically do that. So those that found the loophole were able to bring this account in and secure themselves a wins for KVK. All they had to do is find accounts that have been sleeping, buy them, and boom, boom.
That
And I wanna
sounds...
say something. You cannot do that on the Lily's website because none of the Lily's website accounts are sleeping. Just to
Right.
let you know. They
Right.
have to do this off there, just to give it out there.
So it sounds like we're in favor of making migrations like an alliance accept or reject. And I think we're saying close those loopholes, right? We're ruining.
This loophole has to be closed.
We're ruining.
So they have done a lot to prevent loopers. You used to be able to do it under 20 million, which was even worse because you could just hit T5 right before KVK5 without spending at all. So they have limited it, but it's still to the point where they can abuse it.
All right. I may need to circle back with you, Solar, when I put the final notes together to get some details surrounding that, because I could not type as fast as you were talking. Nor do I want us to advertise loopholes on the live stream either. So, okay. All right. Luxta, are we done with this topic? Anything else from anyone? I know we're trying to wrap up today in about 60 to 90 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep things flowing. Luxta, I know this is one you brought up, right? Many players have upgraded farms to City Hall 25 and would like the ability to use those as actual farms without having them count towards matchmaking power. So you were suggesting allowing players to downgrade to City Hall 24 for those type of accounts that they want to use as dedicated farms, but they're not going to play on in a KVK.
Yeah. Yeah, so this popped up a couple of times. I think even Apo has a personal experience with this from what we were talking from before. But it seems like I don't see any negatives as long as they counteract like some kind of abuse of like downgrading then upgrading or something like that. Just now, a simple solution could be is if you downgrade to City Hall 24, whatever kingdom, it's either it could be a time frame that passes, or if in that account stays in that kingdom, if it passes over one whole KVK and it goes back to home kingdom, then they can upgrade again. Maybe it could be something like that. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people that just either, like I have friends that upgraded accounts and they have like farms that are just like, they don't want to really use them for fighting. We don't really want to kick them out. This isn't in 3303 necessarily. There might be a few people, but I've heard this brought up to me. And so, yeah, I just think as long as it's not being abused, I don't see any negatives just, to have a farm account. So, but Apo, I think, has a personal story you might want to talk about. Maybe.
We'll kick it over to Apo then.
Oh, sorry, what I was muted. What was that?
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say. So the downgrading City Hall 25 to 24. You had like a personal...
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because I missed that part when you said. So I just want to say a small thing. Okay, hear me out for like, because I really feel this is a must-have situation. When we started playing this game, we old veterans, forgive me for calling us that, about 6-7 years, we created these farm accounts, got them to level 25 because they were a huge asset for us at the early game. We needed them for real resources. That's where we got the resources. That's how we played KVK. They reinforced, they helped with everything. Now, late in the game, we went into a situation where right now I have a T5 count that I don't want that T5. Why I don't want that T5? Because I do not use it as a main. I already invested resources, speed-ups, everything to make this account level 25. It was not gifted to me. I have every individual have to pay for it. All I'm asking for, and it shouldn't be a problem, like all I'm asking for is I have an account where I push tech too far. I want it to be taken away. But the problem is because someone already messaged me, and I'm gonna bring it up straight. Someone told me this is how people gonna abuse Zenith of Power. You could remove your tech and redo it. I wanna say something. There must be, like, you can make a lock on it for a year. I'm not even kidding. Because I am not coming here to make loopholes and manipulate. I'm not asking to win Zenith by that. You can make it a 1-year lock after it's been done. So once you make your account from T5 to T4 again, and you only remove the tech, I want to lose the power included as well. And then it can be locked for 1 year. I cannot move my tech, something like that. Because just those that say you can abuse it, because everything can be abused. But all I'm asking is, when I come to tell you, Lambo, I want to bring my farms, I want to come and help, you know, reinforce, and you tell me, well, Apple, what's your account? I'll be like, oh, actually, my account's of 30 million. You'll be like, you know, Apple, we don't want to really push too much power within the kingdom because we want to stay where we are, even though, you know, matchmaking is not power, but we still want to stay at a certain power. And I don't understand that. So I can go back and tell you, well, hang on, I can make my farms lower by removing some tech and stuff. You know, I want that space where I can change the existing tech to lower. That's all I have. I want. That's all I'm asking.
No, that makes sense, especially abusing Zenith. I could, and
Yeah.
you're right, and Luxto is right? If they make this change, we really need to take a look at how it could be abused by players instead of just saying, okay, done deal. You can go back to City Hall 24. You can remove tech, right? Because that I didn't even think about Zenith, but yeah. Every time they make a change in this game, there are people who find loopholes.
Yeah, but Lambo, can I add a small note next to this if you don't mind? Because just something popped to my head. We could also say that after you lose that, for example, I remove the tech, yeah, you will never gain that power back. Even if you gain it, on the record, I am 50 million, yeah? I removed my tech and went back to 30 million. If I push back to 50 million, I will never gain that power. They can do this as well. They can control these things. You know what I mean? This is just a small note that came to my head, just as a way to also stop the abuse of it. So even if you go back, you already were 50 million, you will never gain that power. You can't participate in Zenith, you can't push Mighty Government, you can't do that stuff. So it's only for the purpose of downgrading.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a thought is like, what if the account gets like debuffed? Almost like basically there's like a debuff on the account that just sits until for example, like you can downgrade and then your account gets set into farm mode or something like that, where essentially it can't participate in Zenith or any kind of events that push power, maybe. I don't know if that's too far.
Yeah,
That might be a simple solution.
point.
And then essentially, even if they re-enabled, like let's say that you quote unquote upgraded or turned off like farm mode, then essentially your power and stuff would come back and you'd be able to participate in these events again. But it wouldn't count. So there's like, you don't have to downgrade and like actually have it count again. The first time that you upgraded already counted for that piece. But it's just like a on and off switch, maybe.
I freaking love that, bro. That's a
Kind of
great
to
mind here.
piggyback off of that. We already have vacation passes. Why don't we just make farmer passes?
Farm passes, sure, something like that. Or expand vacation passes just to give more, so there's more opportunity like this, and it's not as limited. I don't know if that's too crazy, but
Because there's only like 30, right? Or like a really small amount.
yeah, most kingdoms will have between 10 to 30 or something like that. I don't know what the cap is, but I know that we only generally have around like 10 available, so.
And Humble Farmer had a nice comment in chat that we'll get to, but Horace, I want to give you an option as well to weigh in here before we go to Humble Farmer's comment.
I am completely out of words. I mean, this is a problem, but I'm still thinking how to solve it. I've never thought of it and thinking about it very deeply because we do have 4,000 or so CH25 accounts in 2377.
Yeah,
And
imagine.
I'm hoping that our 3v1 KVK 150 people versus 800 or 900 wasn't the CH25 getting counted like players or something.
So
So, yeah.
Humble Farmer said, allow kingdoms, no matter the size, to choose the accounts to take into a KVK. So right now there's a domain system, and what is it, 600 or 800?
5, the new one, I think. Something like that. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I know 1029, right? We take in 230 accounts into a KVK. That's every CH25 in the kingdom. So maybe that's a solution is limit or give me as king the ability to choose which accounts we take into the KVK. That way the rest of them are stuck in home kingdom.
Yeah, imagine.
What do you think?
Yeah, imagine. 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 Yeah
Any
That
thought?
actually,
Mm,
in general,
I like
fixes
that.
also the rogue
It's
issue.
everything.
Yeah, like just rogues joining,
The rogue are really
your
a problem.
zone and just kill farmers and stuff. So yeah, that's a simple solution. It tackles a lot of stuff, I think.
There's the also king skill coming for the rogue issue. I don't think
Rogues is our next topic.
Okay, perfect.
So
I really think this is important, Lambo. I think this is really important, and I think there's a lot of people that can benefit from it. A lot of kingdom that right now sitting with dead weight, they can reset accounts, reduce farm mode. I love that word farm mode, by the way.
I do love the word farm mode because if we add domains for us, because we already have domains, for example, it won't change much on matchmaking or not matchmaking, the power rating. So for recruitment, for example, so it's not a generalized solution for us. But of course, we're outlier, one kingdom, but can be the same for other people as well. So we do have to limit people, not accept people's farms, hard work. We are there when they are above like 25 million or even more less at this point. Or even make people who have very active, powerful farms above 35 because we need migration, right?
So I think we're talking about a combination of things, right? For lower power kingdoms like mine that do not have a domain system, allow the king to choose who to take into KVK, who to fight with in KVK. And for maybe the higher power Imperium kingdoms that already have domains, implement some sort of farm mode or forced farm tickets, forced vacation tickets, right?
Humble Farmer also brought up an important thing that it also makes more accurate matchmaking. So, like, take for example, 1029, you'd actually have your power that you would be fighting with rather than just all your accounts.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, I got a 65 million power farm that I know right here, 62.9. I don't use it in KVK. I fight on my main account. I hardly ever use a farm in KVK. So that account is off in the cloud for 30 days, so it does not count towards matchmaking. If I could actually use that as a farm somehow to gain resources by dropping it back to a CH24 or not including it in a KVK if we can pick the players, or tagging it as a giving it a farm ticket, that would be fantastic. Then I don't have to let it just waste away and I can use it to farm on. I mean, back when MF was here, we didn't care what power our farms were, right? You got a 600, 700 million whale in your C or DC kingdom. You don't care what power your farms are, but now everybody is trying to manage their kingdoms much, much better. So we have to do the same. Just my personal experience. Iceman Isaac, King should be able to approve what alliances go to the KVK. That's another suggestion there.
We often ask for the tasks to be easier on leadership. So adding domains to every single kingdom as somebody who's done 77's domain, I think twice, it takes a lot of time and a lot of messaging. It took me like maybe full day to organize everything. So it does add work on leadership.
Yeah, that's why we get paid the big bucks, right? All right.
555 15%. Stats. We got this.
I do want to bring up like one thing about the alliances. The only concern that I have is for KVKs like Woo or Stratagems. You have to have so many alliances for those fort drops. So that's just my only concern about having to limit that.
It would suck to run out of shells, and then you're like, shoot, but we had these 3 backup shells. We can't bring them now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, less fort walls would make KVK more interesting, though.
Or faster.
which makes it more interesting, right? If I can go to sleep sooner, I can go to sleep sooner. Gosh darn it! So, but yeah, I can see how. I mean, I like the domains. Go ahead.
They did reduce the fort walls to 120k per fort, so that's about 5 to 7 hours shorter per fort. And you cannot build forts really at all touching or overlapping now.
Yep,
Which is massive.
124,000 in our KVK is the hit points for a fort, and you're right. We cannot overlap these forts at all. So like once
That
these
was a problem for us.
once
Yep.
these two forts get burned, then they're on to these two forts. I think we
Yes.
calculated something like 20 hours burn time if you keep it burning from start to finish, roughly.
And the overall, like not being able to overlap, was a big change for us, because when, I don't know if you guys saw 77 versus 89 map, we had a 3 or 4 flag space where we could have built a fort and secured it because we had the uptime for it, but we just couldn't build. So even between enemy forts, we couldn't build and stabilize, so to say. So we just were facing each other. They couldn't move forward, we couldn't move forward.
Yep.
We just stopped there.
Yeah, and that sucks. Then all you're fighting for is kill points. There are no objectives to really fight for when it's fort wall after fort wall in a single zone. It's like a pass 7. It's like a pass 7 for your entire zone 5, and that sucks.
So basically, if you put your forts one step back now, they cannot build a fort in this more flag area to touch your fort. So I don't know if you remember, we used to do one step back for the forts from the pass.
Mhm.
So you would build a flag and to touch them. So as enemy, you could go and build enough momentum to build a fort on the other side and secure overnight pushing. Now you can't do that anymore.
So like build these forts one step back so they have room to drop a flag, but not a fort.
Yep.
Whereas the setup we currently have, Captain, I hope you're watching, if they burn these two forts, they could potentially drop a fort in one of these two locations.
Exactly.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh, that's good to know. All right. So I'll put together some notes from this. I'll run it past you guys, make sure it kind of incorporates everything that we are seeking to improve here, as far as City Hall 24s potentially going down to, or 25s going down to 24s, farm passes, domains, and I'll run it past you guys before we submit anything. But we got some great notes and some great input from everybody here, and I thank everyone for it. Let's move on to the most fun topic, right? Rogue players. So right now, it's really hard to find rogue players in a kingdom who are disrupting events, killing farmers in Zone 4, pushing in MGE when they shouldn't, pushing in gold heads when they shouldn't. I know I personally want the ability to locate any city on the map using a governor ID. If I'm the R5 and I'm the king, I should be able to type in a governor ID and locate that city on the map. Period. Okay, that way I know if I need to banish them to the banishment zone. Right? Every single kingdom now, you have a banishment zone. Let me just bring up 1029, the home kingdom. In the upper left-hand corner, you banish a city, they go into the banishment zone. And once we're out of KVK, we always have a marker in this upper left-hand corner that says, keep out banishment zone. That way our rogue players are up here. They can screw with each other all day long. I don't give a damn. You know, as long as they're not screwing with us. So I want the ability to locate those players. Now, this one is very controversial. And I know they discussed it in the meetup as well. But Kingdom title of Rogue, which would not allow a player to even move their troops from a city. And that would prevent instances like Apo we had in 3777, where a T5 account was purchased in 3777 And all that person did was go and cause chaos in the middle of KVK. Tagging that person as a rogue without their ability to leave the city, all they can do is sit and watch. The other thought,
Genuinely awesome.
the other thought go ahead.
Go. No. You can finish first.
Yeah, another thought I had was, typically there's not just one rogue player in a kingdom. We need the ability to mark rogue players and mark multiple rogue players. Right? Like you have slave, you have sluggard, you have fool. Rogue, I should be able to mark multiple rogue players so that I can find their cities very easily, just like I can find the gold pit. Right? If I mark 3 people as a rogue, I want the ability to find them really, really quickly through this menu here. Right? That way we know exactly where they are. Every MGE, when the number 1 player needs kill points to get their MGE points, we can send them to the rogue cities and say, go destroy them.
Yep.
Next thing, I think any negative title, no matter what it is, should exclude that player from any MGE points ranking, should exclude that player from kingdom events that include any rewards, gold head events, whatever, and not allow that player to teleport at all to the Lost Kingdom. I don't care if it's slave, I don't care if it's rogue, I don't care if it's sluggard. If they have a negative title, there's typically a reason that they have a negative title. I don't want them participating in Mightiest Governor. I don't want them participating in gold head events. I don't want them teleporting to Lost Kingdom. I need them to get the F out of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to respond first on that note.
Yeah.
And look, man, I'm going to be straight to the point. I am going to make it, I'm going to be straight with you. At the moment, we play this game, yeah, and we love this game, and I'm one of these people that promote this game day and night. If the developer's not gonna come to the party and give me control over Rogue, we're gonna have a serious problem. Because if the developers see that giving power to those that can abuse, we have a serious problem. And I'm not gonna wait for the Rogue title. Thank you for bringing, you already brought it up. Why do we need the Rogue title when we already have negative titles? I don't want a one Rogue title, no. Any negative title, like you mentioned, has to be taken as a rogue. This person is not welcomed anywhere in this kingdom. They need to give us control. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do not like the fact that they know that this is a problem and they seem not to take action on it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it makes me frustrated because I don't like those that abuse things like that. I don't like it. And I play this game because it's a fun place. This is what we say, community, fun place. Yeah, there is always those in the community that want to cause drama and rogue and, put themselves in the spotlight. But I need to see that the developers of this game also care about those that want to run a kingdom properly, give a safe place to the community, to the kingdom individuals, secure the kingdom. Not I am a king and someone sitting there still almighty governor and I have to get the whole kingdom to run around feeding each other. Why? Why you don't give me power? I don't like it. And it really hurts me. In a way, it really winds me up.
It's about the
I
money.
sit down here, Yeah, man, I know it's money, but this is the thing. They have to balance where you are pushing people to spend and when you are pushing people to quit the game. There is a big difference between investment or a short-term investment and a long-term investment. They have to make the balance here. This is how I see it. But giving power to Rogue for the last 7 years, to Rogue through this game, do whatever they want, no worries, no punishment, no nothing. Abuse everything. I think it's about time that the developer also give the king and the management of the kingdom some control over those that cause abuse. And with all the respect, when a rogue come, I don't go buy 10 bundles. I just go feed the people. It costs me resources and speed ups. It doesn't cost me money. Let's just be honest. Okay, unless you are one player in a kingdom that rogue. But you know, man, this topic is very sensitive, and I would like to see some real actions from Rise of Kingdom developers regard this topic. And I need to see it very fast. I need to see this like happening within the next update pretty much, because it's too late. It's already too late, bro.
I'm just
Yeah,
piggyback.
I'm sorry, guys. This topic sets me off. I'm sorry.
Oh, you have every right to be mad. Go ahead, Solar.
Bro, because yeah, man, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't want to be like, I'm trying to be calm, but we also invest money, we invest time, we invest everything. Where is the care for those that, you know, where is the power? We have no power. You know, I'm sorry, but that's my piece.
Yeah, no, I've like back in the day when I played, we had a rogue in our zone 3 before the banishment, and they would wait for our gold nodes, like our gold pit to pop for MG, things like that. We couldn't, it was impossible to get MG in that kingdom.
And what did you do? Broke the kingdom, move away. How many people quit? This is my point, you know, the short-term investment against long-term investment. Because trust me, all these people in this chat are a long-term people. People that care about this game, people that want to see this game go somewhere. We sitting here taking time off our days, sitting here for what? For entertainment? No. We sitting here to discuss issues and things that are happening within the game that can help this game go forward in a better place. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. So there must be a lot of changes for the older people that play this game, that people that play this game for 6 and 7 years. They need to be looked at as well. And what they need, what's their needs? Because these are the people that carried this game for the last 7 years. We are the one that promote this game to the new people. You know what I mean? It's the truth.
Horse?
It is also one of those things too, where sorry, just a last thing for me. Every time that I've ever had to deal with a rogue, is someone had to pay them off, or someone had to give them something so that they would leave us alone.
Yeah,
So it's like not even. I mean, that's taboo to talk about. Like hundreds of dollars I've seen people pay for.
we have literally bought people New World bundles to get them out of the kingdom.
Can you believe what you're hearing?
Yep.
Yeah. This is how
So-
crazy.
Horse? Horse,
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's a very big topic,
Yep.
and I think the solution may not be like that drastic to make every single title rogue rated, but to one specific title that defines actual rogue that makes them not be able to leave the city or something. I think it would discourage all the bad actions. For example, somebody purchasing a T5 account in another kingdom, because when you know that there is a such title, you may never use it like the king, but it would by default discourage such actions. So
Makes sense. So you're in favor of the rogue title that doesn't allow players' troops to leave the city versus any negative title doing any of
Just one.
these. Sure.
king skill 2000 thing. It gives you 24-hour banishment from leaving your city, and trust me, that would stop 99.9% of issues. But it can't be used on enemies though. That would be awful. That can't be used on enemies because you can literally stop somebody from an enemy camp. Instead of imprison, you imprison the marches inside the city.
Luxta, I know you have had a very well managed 3303. Have you had issues with rogues in your kingdom?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said we wouldn't or we didn't have any issues. Like right now, we're actually in a very good spot. We never were like in a terrible spot where we just have rogues running rampant. There's always like a couple people that seem to just stick around and be very just like annoying, and they just want to cause issues and stuff like that. Like there's just like one in particular recently, and he was like holding one of our really old alliances that had some slots available. Like he was just holding it hostage, and so I didn't. We all of us have asked him and talked to him, but specifically Goku, our king, actually ended up discussing with him and convinced him to give us back the alliance. So thankfully that there was not much conflict, although he did try to steal MGE, but we just kept zeroing him. So like I'm more in favor of like everything, like whenever someone's like, oh, just make it a king skill, I kind of laugh because I'm like, dude, if we keep making everything king skill, it's like in my mind it's a little ridiculous at a certain point. I'm more in favor probably of the titles just existing. As far as like any negative titles, like that might be good. I don't know if I would agree with that exact implementation. I'd have to really think about. I mean, I'd really have to think about the consequences of just giving someone a negative title like that and then excluding them from playing events. Like that they have a negative title for a reason, right? I'm probably more in favor of the one of just not allowing them to leave their city, because at least initially that's how I feel, just because like them not being able to play events sucks, but they're also like when Appa was explaining like his feelings, there's one thought that popped in my head is like, yeah, it's basically like I do agree. I think the Rock developers should take this topic very seriously, which it sounds like they are. But it's one person that ruins a whole community of people, and there's a game is built
Well
on
done, bro.
community.
Well
Right?
said, man. Well said, bro.
That line was basically in my head. So
Yeah, man.
why would they cater to one person ruining a community? There could be more. There could be more rogues, right? But in general, there's maybe like a handful of rogues or less, much less, maybe like a couple that are actual problems, right? So yeah, so I think something has to be done. I'm probably in favor of the title aspect, in some implementation. I guess that's my initial thoughts.
So, okay, so I guess I can compromise, right? Exclude any negative title, exclude the player from Kingdom events that include rewards. I think in my head specifically, it's MG and Gold Head events.
Yeah, I would very closely follow Luckstone on this one.
Okay.
It can be very easily manipulated by a king to, let's say, I'm king's friend and the king is my friend and I'm top 2 on the event. Hey, remove him from the event 1 minute before the end, so I win top 1. That shouldn't be possible.
So the title must be on a player before the event starts.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was probably be the easiest way to solve that problem.
Yeah, it's either before event starts or like within the first 24 hours of an event starting or something like that. Since there's like time zones and stuff that people have to deal with and managing, maybe the first 24 hours, if they have a title, then they can't participate. Something like that.
I think before the event starts, that will require planning and coordination, right? So if these two players in our kingdom that we have tagged as Exile and Sluggard, right? If they have those titles when an event starts, then they can't do Gold Head events. They can't do NGEs. If they can take their troops out of the city to compete in, I don't know, what other race against time, let them, because they're only about 50 or 60 million power. They're not. It's not like they're gonna win that event anyway.
So these are actual rogues in 1029.
So these are players in 1029 who were native to the kingdom. They feel like our ruling alliance has no business being here. We were not natives. We came here after they did. This is their kingdom. This is not our kingdom. And they cause as much chaos as they can whenever they can, specifically in Gold Head events. So yeah, we don't have a lot, right? We don't, but then again, every KVK, there seems to be somebody from an enemy kingdom that will create an account in our kingdom and try and push a Gold Head event and take 20 Gold Heads away from one of our players.
You know, Lembo, you will never feel it until you start a new account. The early game is a pool of betrayal, backstabbing, opportunities. It's you remember the old days? They're still here. They just in a different time, you know? And it's been happening for a long time, Lambo. And how long are they gonna let it happen? That's the question. You don't see the negative effect that it's taken? Like how he see that? One person is ruining the whole kingdom.
I mean,
And that's okay?
I think 2 rogues in our kingdom is quite low, right? But I know many kingdoms that have like 2268, Plato's whole kingdom, right? They could not get rid of enough players to start fresh, for lack of a better term, in that kingdom. Half of that kingdom went rogue after they lost 3 or 4 KVKs in a row. So they had to completely abandon that kingdom and start elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And what is a rogue, Lambo? It's just someone didn't get their way. Someone did not get their way. So in a way, they wanna punish you. But not punish you? They're gonna punish the whole kingdom for it.
Yeah,
And you cannot do anything about it. You go look and watch it.
yeah, Farmer, maybe those weren't rogues, just a lot of dead accounts. Yeah, it makes sense. And people who log in on a daily basis just to send out farm troops and their power never disappears. So that type of situation may be helped by domains for lower power kingdoms, but I mean they
Can I say something?
no. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just remembered something, man. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I just remembered something as I was saying. A Discord conversation I had with someone, and I'm not gonna say names. One of my very close friends started a very new project. He's a content creator, and the guy worked his ass off alone. Started the project, banned Krakens, built the kingdom, did everything, and then had a problem with one player. One player in the whole project had a problem with him. That player went and spoke to the Kraken, paid him double the money, took the account, and destroyed the whole kingdom. Months of work, effort, everything was destroyed. How does he feel? Gutted, broken, upset. Why? Because the game did not give him any mechanism to stop it. He was zeroing people in front of his eyes. He can't do anything. E5 account against E4. He can't do nothing. Stand there and laugh. If he was in power to put a negative title and that person from the day you took the Lost Temple, you in control, you cannot cross the line, I'm the king, it's finished. That project would have been saved. Have to look at the bigger picture, and the developers must look at the bigger picture, because the short-term investment means nothing against the long-term investment and the people that play this game for years. If we say community, 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 they need to show me that they actually care about this community. Not by words, not by YouTube videos, by actions, my updates. I want to see updates. Give me authority. Like I say, I would love to see this very soon.
Yeah, I mean, you're king of a kingdom. You should have the ability to control that kingdom. And one Kraken can absolutely destroy. I mean, imagine if Hope and Lion went crazy in 2377.
Rest in peace.
They could destroy that kingdom. The two of them together could destroy that kingdom. Period.
They can zero every account. That's how scary it is.
Right? And not trying to scare Horse, but Horse migration will be open in about 30 days if you're looking to migrate.
It's valid.
Someone
It's valid. Valid
instill
conversation,
fear
guys.
and make them migrate.
But yeah, so I'll take all these notes. We've gotten some good notes here, and I will try to do a combination of both suggestions and run it past you guys. Go ahead, Solar.
So one thing that wasn't discussed, that's something that's happened to me previously. I don't, in KVK 1 through 3, especially those MGs are so important. I've had whales who go and start a new account, spend like $1,000 on a new account, and you can't outbeat them in points in MG.
Oh my god. Is there any new kingdoms?
Yes, that is the thing in New Kingdoms. In my first kingdom in 2825 for this account, we had a person go to a different kingdom. He bought like a low end account and then he just jacked up the power
Wow.
during the power up event, and there's nothing you could do with it. Because you could feed, but how much it would cost to feed at that point is just not worth it.
Yeah, I
And then
mean,
for
again,
PvK1, no
control.
Charles Martel Garrison. Good luck.
back when I was in 1039, we had this player named Solimar who would win every MG, every gold head event. But then he got zeroed in KVK too. I'm just seeing if Solimar is still watching.
Hey,
He's
bro.
gonna skip. I was gonna say, like, I saw him in chat, dude. Oh,
This is different, Solly.
No. Solomar was here too.
So, no, I get it, and you know, more power to Krakens who can push. But at the end of the day, if you have one person that is taking every MGE, every gold head event, that leaves others struggling. That will leave a kingdom struggling in KVK, right? And that's why those events needs to be managed so tightly by kings of a kingdom to know, okay, who's got the best. You know, there's a archer MG coming up for a rally lead. Who's got the best archer gear? Who's got the best archer armaments? Who needs this first place? Okay, well, Lambo's got the best stuff, but does he show up in KVK? Okay, yeah, he's online for 20 out of 24 hours when we're fighting. Yeah, let's give him first. You know, versus, oh, let's give Queen first, who, and I'm just using names here, who might be online for 10 hours when we're fighting. She's online a lot more than 10 hours. I'm just using that as an example. Right? So, yeah, in order to manage kingdoms, there needs to be a better way to deal with rogues, and it needs to impact some of those events that kingdoms use to get the players that they need, those commanders, to make them successful in KVK. Otherwise, we're going to have dead kingdom after dead kingdom after dead kingdom. You're going to have Krakens starting a new account, Krakens winning every MGE, every gold head event, and then migrating out and leaving that kingdom hanging. And Solimar didn't respond, so he must not be watching anymore.
I will say, just to add to that point, if you want an example, look at Mephisto's Old Kingdom.
Dead as hell, right? Dead as hell.
He took every event, had a massive civil war, then he refunded the account and killed the progression.
Well, as I understand it, he left the account to players in that kingdom to use. They tried to sell the account, which is when he went back and refunded. At least that's the story I was given.
But still, at that point, once you refund and all those stuff is taken away, that's progression gone.
Goodbye. Yep, dead kingdom. Okay. Was there anything in chat we need to notate here, or should we move on to the next topic?
So the Dark Princess brought up an interesting thing. King should have more access to alliances, because there's alliances that have max tech that people just keep on lockdown.
Well, then you burn them the hell out.
Well, you can always use that max tech shell. Is
think
just
that's-
like the big thing.
That's similar to what happened to me. Like, this was just a farm shell, but that exact thing kind of happened where just a rogue got access to an alliance and then just locked it down. Kind of right. That's what I think they're saying.
Yeah, just a way to be able to message support or do something to discuss about maybe getting that shell.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for personal experience myself, but if we see a rogue fort drop anywhere in 1029, we are there within minutes building flags to burn that fort.
Nope.
But I get it, right? Like if this alliance, if we don't have a player controlling this alliance here, oh, that's ours. If we don't have a player controlling this alliance here in R4 or R5, and it's a max tech alliance, yeah, that can be problematic. But I mean, we've got R5, R4 in our main alliance, and R5 of every single alliance in this map. But that's easier said than done. That took us 2.5, 3 years. So how would a king have more access to those alliances? And I think that should be maybe after Season of Conquest 4 rather than up front in KVK 1, 2,
That's a
3.
tricky one, yeah. I remember having to buy some max tick alliances from random R5s in KVK 2 and 3. Literally paid, negotiated to get the alliances because they weren't willing to give it to the kingdom.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit when we left Kingdom 1207 way back in the day, we deleted our alliance because they treated us so shitty. So we deleted that alliance. So an entire Max Tech alliance in the top zone, top right-hand zone and top zone above Kingsland was gone for them. We didn't want to give them shit. That was years ago before KVK was even a thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess the
I don't know.
the logistics around, what could a king just click on an alliance banner and automatically take over the alliance, or how would they implement that?
wouldn't that be like requisitioning or something in real life? When the government takes over a company?
Oh, what's it called? Eminent domain.
I mean, initially I kind of was like trying to think of negatives to that, but once a kingdom is developed and like in unified, it's working towards the same goal. I don't see why the king shouldn't be able to do that. Like, there's obviously always going to be corrupt kings and like edge cases and stuff, but the more I think about it, the more I kind of like that idea, because it takes a lot of the headache out of like just random people having alliances. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of a negative or a big enough negative.
So let's walk through this, right? Let's just say there are 10 alliances in your kingdom, and there's one alliance with people who don't want to give it up. If all 10 of those other alliances vote and say this is a rogue alliance, R5 is passed to somebody in one of those 10, or R5 is passed to the king, or control is passed to the king.
And the vote condition, you must have a fort on the ground. Man, I'm dealing with this on daily basis in 3777. An absolute joke. Everybody, hold the rank 5, wanna hold that for ransom, rub it in my face, blackmail me, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't care less, Couldn't care less. We'll burn it, it's just time. But it's just a game. Another way, allowing people to manipulate things around the kingdom. One player, one or two players, making, wanna be in the want some attention.
Yep. I mean, because
This is what it's about.
when we're talking fully developed and unified kingdoms, right? I'm thinking if the leaders of PK, LPK, hashtag PK, 29 PK, 29 lowercase PK, if they all vote and say that PKG is a rogue alliance, and the vote is unanimous, or even 90%, then that alliance, that R5 has to get turned over to somebody of the king's choosing. Because
I think that's very reasonable.
Eminent domain and just a king saying, okay, I want that alliance shell, give it to me. That could be very abused. Just, I mean, a lot of
Yeah, it can.
a lot of this stuff we're talking about, a king could abuse. But in the same respect, if you're in KVK, or if you're in pre-KVK for KVK 1, somebody takes that temple, boom, they can have control over all the alliances in an instant then, if we're talking about something like that. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
It's a good point. I mean, you always have to think about how it can be abused.
I think no
Yeah, but
matter
again,
what you do,
they abuse
it's
it.
gonna be abused.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us on this call are ethical people who have who have honor, who play this game with integrity and do our best to respect others. But there are lots of people out there who play this game just to be an asshole.
Big thank you, Lambo. Don't tell me sum it up. I love you.
Actually, I just thought of an issue that basically is exactly what Lambo just said. Is what happens if the king gets piloted and then they just rogue control everything over to a random farm account or something?
Oh, good
Remember, we
God.
have to vote.
Like,
You have
holy
to get a
crap.
vote. But this is where the vote comes in.
Okay. There's a vote. Right,
Yeah,
right.
this is where the only, like, for example, if we say 10 or 20 alliances that have forts built and developed in the home kingdom get to vote. And the vote maybe takes like 3 days. I don't know, something like that. Based on the vote, maybe they can say it has to be like 90. You remember when they were introducing the new KVK matchmaking and they said everybody gonna get to vote, for example, and then, you know, if everybody agrees the KVK gonna happen, and if there was majority of the people disagree, we're gonna redo the matchmaking. It could be something similar, and it could be tied to the Lost Temple. Once the temple is sealed and the kingdom, you know, celebrated the king, now you start getting these skills in place to help you. Otherwise, brother, it's just, you have a disagreement with someone, they go, give me rank 5, brother. Okay, here you go, it's good. I'm not giving you rank 5. But what? You left the oh, I'm not giving you rank 5, but you don't need it. Oh, no, I'm not giving you. Okay, what do you need it for? Just for, I want it. It's just bollocks. You don't have time for this bollocks.
On the topic of voting, I don't want to take us away from the current focus, but I do think the KVK voting mechanism can be, should be, or must be changed, because in our case, so it seems like if the one person says no to match remaking, the map doesn't get remade. And we'd had in our Diplo somebody go like, oh, I accidentally clicked this without the other side speaking. So basically like no option of remaking the match. So forcing us to play it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then they acted like, oh, we did it accidentally, you know. They had decided their side and we hadn't responded, so.
Wow, interesting.
Next meeting, KVK voting. We'll save that for the next episode.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
exactly. Just
All
wanted
right.
to mention.
Nope.
not to forget.
Absolutely. We got notes on here. Okay. Moving on. So I'll get all these notes together, send them out to you guys, and see if we can come to a consensus as to what to recommend here. But excellent discussion. It's a discussion that is needed. Rogues can kill a community. They can kill a kingdom, no matter if they're 25 million power or 125 million power. So good discussion from everyone. I appreciate that. A couple of
Thank you
things.
for giving us a platform, sir.
Yeah, a couple of things that kind of strike close to home here. Just from a kingdom management perspective, I don't know that we're going to have a ton of discussion on this. But kingdom chests, right? There's a limited number of kingdom chests that can be distributed every 2 weeks. I know we rotate kings, right? So like Captain Stinkfist went in today, he distributed these kingdom chests. When I click on the chests in here, it shows me who got the last one. But in order to track and see, you know, like he asked me today, when did Mad Mania last get a legendary chest? And I'm like, I have no freaking clue. You know, there needs to be some sort of tracking mechanism in game to show the last 6, the last 8 sets of kingdom chests that were given out, so we know if we're rotating them accordingly. You know, we have anywhere from 20 to 50 players, 60, 70 players that deserve these chests, including I mean, sometimes this is the only way R4s get quote unquote paid. You know, but I want to make sure that we're rotating legendary chests through to different players every other week, and it's not always the same player getting the chest every other week.
But the Mad Mania, exactly.
I don't know why Mad Mania got it. He's dead weight anyway, but
That's right. But you know, Limbo, I want to add on there as well. How many times did you miss it? Because you don't realize you're in KVK, you're busy. There is nothing, not even a pop-up tell you, Yo, there is only 24 hours on this amazing king chest. Make sure you give them away. No, nothing. It can go past and nothing get mentioned. They must do something about it. There must be a pop-up that says, yo, king, you must give the giveaway. You must, something like that. And I wish I could also, Lambo, on top of that, because I am dealing with it as well. I wish I can go at any time of the week and say, okay, by the end of the week, these are the people I want to allocate the present to. You know, I don't have to go physically and click and give them the gift. You know, because the kingdom, the Lost Temple, not the location of everybody. You know, I should be able to allocate the gift to one in the alliance. You know, you can go at the beginning of the week when you have a minute. Okay, this week I'm gonna give this present to these people. You actually can have the whole alliance here. You know what I mean? The whole kingdom in front of you, and you can search and pick. It's crazy that I have to go find, especially in 3777. I have to go tell like, hey, BS, could you please send me the locations? And then I wait for someone to come online. Why? I'm a king. I could just search the name. Boom, he's here. Boom, congratulations. So this is another thing we could also add. It will help us a lot.
Can
Yeah.
I also add?
Yep.
Sure.
Can we get more chests, more trophies? I mean, Oppo, how many times do people complain that they never get a chest in 3777?
A lot. It's normal, but yeah, it's hard. It's very hard.
I've never gotten one in 3777.
Oh, here we go.
I think Lego needs a legendary with how much honor he pushed. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I agree. I swear, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't deserve one in 3777. Go ahead, Luxa.
No, you're right, bro.
The
No, I
other
mean,
time. Yeah, go ahead.
Or horse.
yeah, horse, go ahead. I don't really have much to say. Good.
I was just saying that the other day, Queen made my week by giving me a legendary chest because I had never gotten it after years. So that was a good feeling.
Yeah, we're not giving Apple any more of these until he opens the one that he has.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's actually a fair point. Collecting the goddamn chest, what the funny. Not utilizing
I
them.
like-
What are useless.
I like Car's idea. Let's get 10 legendaries, 20 epics, 50 elites, and 100 advanced. That means every single week everyone gets a reward.
So okay, so let's all right. More chests is what you originally said, Solar. I would say this. If you're in a kingdom where there are gold chest after gold chest after gold chest, hundreds of gold chests being bought on a daily basis that the kingdom is benefiting from, these mean absolutely nothing when they're being distributed, right?
Proceed.
But if you're in a small kingdom, a C seed, a B seed, a A seed, where you're not getting that same level, those same level of kingdom chests, I would say, yeah, let's increase this, double this, 2, 4, 10, 20. Right? Help those smaller kingdoms that are not getting that same level of alliance gift recover faster during KVK so that they can put up a better fight. I'm just throwing that out there, right? I know in Gosu, who is very, very vocal, says that you don't need to remove pilots, you just need to limit the number of gold chests some of these really super big spending kingdoms have. I don't agree with that myself, right? They're doing the work, they're spending the money, they're putting the time in, but I think you need a way to kind of balance that out a little bit with the smaller kingdoms who don't spend as much. And maybe this is the way to increase these in smaller kingdoms. Thoughts?
You know what sets me off, Lambo? Those that say, if you have a problem with pilot, go to tier B, go to tier A.
Yeah, that's a very bad argument.
It's
I was C tier, and it's still an issue. It's probably way worse, obviously, in higher seed, just because of how grindy it is already. But
sure, you can abuse it badly.
But what's worse in a lower seed is that the activity drops, obviously, because there's less players, and so what happens is whoever's getting piloted is gonna win. Like that's gonna be the same thing in higher seed, but it's just like it's the same issue.
It takes longer.
Right.
It's just the truth.
Or
it takes
shorter.
longer to happen, you know.
Well, in the higher seed, it's longer. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It
yeah,
makes
it's
us quit
just it's a
faster.
silly argument.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't. I mean, the counterpoint to what I was saying is, yeah, if a kingdom's DC'd and they're freaking in the merger kingdom status and they're dead, it's going to be the same 10, 15, 17. It's going to be the same 18 players getting these chests every 2 weeks. So I don't know there. Thoughts? Increasing chests for lower seeds, but not higher seeds? I don't know.
Is there a way that maybe they could look at this and this has just popped in my head just right now, and this could be totally a bad idea, but what if there was like some guaranteed rewards that were already sent out, like these, if that makes sense, like you not necessarily. I'm trying to think of how to word this, like, because similar to how like getting more chests, like Solar was mentioning, and even I think what was it, Car in chat? Yeah, Car basically said like basically almost everyone's gonna get a chest at that point. If that's the case, what if there's just some way to like auto give maybe chests, like without having to go in and do this as well? Like, is this something that you, because I don't end up going and doing this, even though I get past king sometimes. I'm not really responsible for trophies and stuff, but do you guys find it annoying that you have to actually go in and like have to do this? Like, could this be something that is given out to people based on certain criteria? Is that something maybe?
So auto distribution of these chests based on certain events, like and events determined by the king, number of forts that somebody did, number of barbs that they did, number of resources farmed, things like that.
Yeah, something of that sort. Because then it like takes off. Because the thing in this game is there's a lot of small things to micromanage, and the issue that I see is like, okay, you can have very dedicated leadership, but then someone forgets, right? And like Apo said, there's no like flashing like lights saying, hey, take care of this, it's about to expire. So maybe there's like some triggered way or like auto distribution that would like alleviate the micromanaging part of this. Because I don't know if you guys find like it for me, I wouldn't. It sounds like it's a huge nightmare because in the current iteration you have to go find the person and tracking them down, finding the city, whatever, right? That's all like hella annoying. So like to alleviate that, maybe there's certain criteria could just get auto distributed, and then we would need more chests probably as well. But I don't know, maybe the whole system could be redesigned in a way, is what I was saying.
Yeah, no, I like that. You know, okay, king sends out a message. You know, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to distribute these chests based on the number of forts you participate in or the number of forts you run. Right, and then the system tracks the number of forts somebody runs and automatically distributes them. Or your honor gained, or whatever the case may be. Anyone else? Do we like that idea? That way, I don't have to go in and give these out. I don't have to remember to go in and give these out.
It also alleviates the issue of people saying, well, the only reason why they got a chest is because they're friends with the king.
I get that every time I give one to Apo.
What the Why am I always picked on, man?
I saw you on mute. I'm just making sure you're paying attention.
I was wondering why he had 20 legendaries in his inventory.
What?
You're just sitting on the legendaries. What the heck?
Okay. I'm having them as like special presents from like I took one from 2429. It was special, so I'm keeping it as like a memory. A freaking memory. I wish it sees the kingdom number on it. That would be special. Can you add that, please?
Oh,
Every king chest should be customized with the kingdom number on it. So people like me can have an excuse to keep them as a present. Thank you, Lambo. I appreciate it.
You click on it, and it also says who sent it to you.
Oh my god, imagine, because it's supposed to be a gift and supposed to be something you've done good, and here is your reward. So why it's not customized with the kingdom number on it, and we click on it and it says that was gifted to you by the one and only ESN Lambo! La 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 la. Okay, that's enough, sorry.
Oh, that's enough. Yes,
in
that's
this
enough.
case,
Sorry.
we should probably add a new line saying allow claiming the gifts, like the rewards, without making the box disappear? Because, like, can you imagine nobody opening any gifts? Makes no sense.
What do you mean without making the
It's
boxes
not on
appear?
my side here. Nah, we need to change the podcast team. They're not on my side here, unfortunately.
I
They're not
would assume
helping
it
me.
gives you like in a mail, kind of like all the other reward events, and then you have to collect it that way.
Yeah.
They come in mail,
Reward.
right? They come in your mail.
Thank you, Carlito.
You get a mail saying who gave it to you.
Right, but like if it auto distributed, you'd have to collect it through your mail, so you at least know you have it.
I didn't save the email from today, but all right. So we went way past just tracking these to reminders, which I like. I like that a lot because I forgot today, and I got a message from one of the officers saying you have 13 hours to distribute these chests. And I was in the middle of work, so I just passed R5 to Captain Stinkfist and said, "Here, your job this time." Being able to locate, we have a one alliance kingdom here, but being able to locate anyone in any alliance would benefit bigger kingdoms with multiple alliances. The email should say who gave you that gift, who was R5 at the time, right? Because I had at least a half a dozen messages today saying thank you for the kingdom gift, and I wasn't even R5. I didn't pass them out. And then the possibility to tie these gifts to auto distribution for certain events. Are we any of these that we don't agree with?
Nope.
Okay. Anything from chat? I know you said a few things, Solar. Anything we missed?
Not really. There's not really anything. There's been just some comments kind of along the lines of what we've been saying.
Okay. Next thing, this is a pain in the ass, right? We in a prior, I think in podcast number 1, we addressed how info management should not allow editing of an alliance. They fixed that. So thank you to the development team for listening. Thank you for fixing that. But we need to go a little bit further here. There are so many of these titles now. I don't know who has what. Right? I know Solar is always a saint. If she's not saint within 5 minutes of getting promoted to R5, she's sending me a message. Right? But these all look very, very similar. All of these new ones
Zero buff.
look very, very
Zero buff.
similar. What I want to see is I want to see the name of the person on the bottom here who's got that title. Right? Because right now, if I give Ironclad General to Thunder, that may take it away from somebody else. Then I got to go in and I got to give them the next one. Oh, it does. Well, she's already got it. But if I'm in here on Thunder, right? Let's say Thunder has nothing. Right? Thunder's got nothing right now, but I want to click on this. I want to see who's got this other stuff so I don't give him something that somebody else already has. If I'm in the middle of fighting, if any R5 or counselor is in the middle of fighting, I don't want to have to sit here and look at all these little icons that look very, very similar to somebody who's 54 years old and be able to try and think of distributing it.
You have a freaking point. Owners is supposed to know. You actually have a point I didn't even notice because we had only 4 titles easy. Now with the 8, it's impossible.
Yep. I mean, literally what I've had to do in the past is I would take a screenshot of this. I would put that on another monitor, and then I would go through and I would compare all the icons to know what somebody didn't use. Now I say screw that. You know, if I give Thunder one and it takes something away from somebody else, I'll just go through every single one of these. I'll start at the beginning. Okay, Thunder gets Ironclad General. Okay, that took it away from Apo. Apo now gets Watchful General. Okay, it took Watchful General away from Snow Goose. Okay, Snow Goose gets Ranger General. That took that away from Captain Stinkfist. So I'll just go through this one by one and give everybody titles again. And it just clogs up the email. Right? Thunder clogs up people's emails. It gives them emails they don't need to see. It's, in my opinion, it's simple. Right? If I go to assign a title, tell me who's got what. Tell me if it's unoccupied. Tell me if it's blank. Exactly like if I click on the Lost Temple, right? It tells me who has what.
Crazy, man.
Right? It's a small thing that would help quality of life. Thank you for giving those titles. Thank you for giving the ability to assign different tasks to each of those titles. That's a step in the right direction. But in the same respect of titles here, like this tells me who is queen, who is prime minister. I want to see the same type of thing on those alliance titles.
I think it's simple, clean fix would relieve a lot of issue.
Something Laura brought up, just to also mention. So only the old titles work in AOO. So for like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these like new titles feel really useless because A, they don't give you buffs. I mean, yeah, they give you permissions, but they don't really do much besides that.
Yeah, they don't give you a whole lot, right? It's just additional, like, I mean, I can see where some kingdoms might say, okay, the Ironclad General, I don't want them having to do building management. I don't want them to have to do any of this internal management stuff. The Ironclad General, maybe the Ranger General, those are my war leads. Let's just give them stuff relating to war lead. Vanguard General, okay, maybe we tag them to do internal management, building management. I can understand that. But yeah, the Counselor, the Warlord, the Envoy, the Saint, those are the only ones that work in Ark of Osiris.
That Queen brings up a good point. You could just change the permissions to the R4 and just let them do it. And just not even use them at all.
Yeah, but when I have R4s in here, right, from another kingdom, I don't want those R4s to have the ability to, and I'm not saying the R4s from our allied kingdom would do this. I don't want them to have the ability to restock the alliance shop. And maybe that's just a check mark we take off when we're in KVK then.
Bad Queen said they can't anyway. They can't do anything with your credits or anything like that.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Just scares me. It scares me.
She said she tried last KVK and it didn't work.
She tried last KVK. So, I mean, it's a nice thing for people to see too. It's nice for them to see a badge next to their name and feel like they're appreciated. So I like the titles overall. I can see them being of use for some kingdoms. I just want an easier way to know who's got what when I go in here to put one on a new person. I think it was Bad Queen that mentioned this one night when we were talking on voice. She said she hates these new titles because she has to go through the entire list. Okay, good to know that you can only stock your own kingdom. So I think that's a simple one. I don't know that requires a whole lot of discussion.
It's very good. No, I think it's really good point, Lambo. It's really not fair. They have to make things simple for us. And that's what makes this actually podcast as well nice. It's you have leadership, people that, maybe focus on other things, it gives you different perspective from different people. And that's why I like it personally. We don't have the same people just talking. Everybody have their own, things that they see that need to bring to the table.
Honky says these new titles are so Gen Z. Everyone gets a participation award. I think it was more to allow easier distribution of tasks and assignment of tasks within a kingdom. I don't know how many kingdoms actually use them like they appear to be intended. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Queen brought this up real quick to kind of backtrack. What about adding, so not only with the kingdom gifts, make it where they roll on to the next week and then you could just give them out again.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. Who's that? Oh, the one
Oh,
and
that was
only.
Bad Queen.
Yeah, Sully is right. They need to add the avatars and the names. I think you're right. Welcome, Classy.
Avatars and
Boom, boom,
names to what? To that.
To the
the
title
new-
that you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Basically saying the same exact thing you were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
that you're talking about.
Yeah. Just put the name of the person here. I'm fine with just the name. Avatar and name would be even sexier, but you know, just something to help me out, right? So stack unused gifts. Back to the prior topic. Stack unused gifts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
I would assume not perfect, like stacked constantly, but at least you could go back if you missed it a week.
Perfect. And that would be fun too, right? You could stack gifts for say a month and then reward the people who have the best EKP in KVK, or reward person who has, you know, the most deads or the most kill points, or, you know, whatever the case is. You would still have to distribute them to different individuals, each and every one, but I like that. I like that. Whoever suggested that, thank you. Duck off any archer commander. Okay. Oh, hey, I guess I had that one here. Where did I stop? New king skills. New king skills. I think Solar, you suggested this one. Spawn a specific rune at the Lost Temple.
Yeah, they already made a step forward now with Zenith. I don't know if anyone saw that mail, but the first Guardian that drops for Lost Temple every single day guarantees a 15% training.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So in Zenith now, for the first Guardian that's killed, you get a guaranteed 15% training during those days at reset.
Well, that's nice, but what if a player's not online at reset?
That's where that issue kind of lies, where it'd be better if we can spawn them like we do in KVK, but it's already a step in the right direction at least.
Or do you just not hit the so if I remember correctly, it's the first Guardian you hit at the Lost Temple during Zenith will drop a 15% training, right?
Yeah.
So you just delay
smart people should be
those.
saving it.
Yep. Delay those until you're ready to pop that buff. Other runes though might be helpful from time to time, right? I can see kingdoms that are doing events. Right? If you're a newer kingdom and you're struggling to say do the Karak bosses. I saw we failed those a couple of times. You know, maybe you can drop a rune at the Lost Temple for a 7% attack, 7% defense.
I mean, for new kingdoms, it would be probably the most clutch thing. Like for my restart, we have to wait for the 15% one to drop, so that way that we can pop those buffs for people.
So do we still, I think this was mainly for Zenith, but do we still agree? Maybe a King's Guild to spawn a specific rune at the Lost Temple, kind of like our KVK, and I can't. I spawned my 2 for today. You can see my 15% rune is right here. 15% AP.
It would just be nice. Yeah, I agree. Anyway.
Any other king skills? Go ahead, Luxa.
No, I was just gonna say that spawning rune is like one of my favorite updates they made with the KVK type.
Amen.
It's just such a good quality of life that it'd be nice to roll it over into Home Kingdom. The other issue, I don't know if this is putting it out there, but what if a rogue just goes and hits, like, regardless, they just go kill off the Lost Temple, like, guardians, you know?
Hopefully,
Your players don't read mail. And then now you freaking can't. Your zenith is screwed. Now you can't climb your buffs.
hopefully rogues don't have zone 3 access to begin with, but
Hey, I don't know.
any other king skills you guys can think of?
Laura brought up like a really interesting one. The siege skill, like the countering the siege skill, has a 45-minute cooldown.
And it costs an arm and a leg as well.
Like, yeah. And it does nothing. They just refresh and they come back and then the buff's gone.
Yeah. Let me see how
What's
much
the
it is just
buff?
quickly.
You could just send out Marsh's Lambo. Oh wait, you're not king, never.
Oh, I got it.
I'm not king, I'm not general, right?
No, I got you. It costs 500 gems as well, but the cooldown is 45 minutes, and she's right. It lasts for 5 minutes. How is the cooldown 45 minutes? It does not make sense. Something is not right here at all.
So make this more like the
Never
king.
noticed that.
Make this more like the king buff.
Yeah, what is the
That would
difference?
make more sense.
All
The
your
difference
kingdom
is
melee
more damage.
troops that are within a certain range of inspiring troops, when the skill is cast, will take 20% less damage and deal 50% more. Oh, hang on for a second, buddy. 50% more? And no way you can do this every 5 minutes, team. 50%, team. The other king's skill give 3%. This one give 50%.
I think it's a damage reduction, if I remember correctly.
No, 50% more range counter damage for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, you take that less, if I remember right.
Oh, more range counter attack damage. I should have read that to the end. Yeah, that's me in a prime example.
So it lowers the ranged counterattack by 50%.
Oh, not the
So that
damage
way-
dealt. Yeah, sorry.
So that way you don't get abused by the siege, because I mean, Gaja Gonzalo is so much damage with so much sustain.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's I'm not gonna lie to you.
Siege
I
players.
have never used it in
Siege,
my life,
siege players would flip the hell out.
but I feel like it's waste because every time I use it, it's already by the time I pushed, it's gone, and I can't use it again.
I mean,
They
I would,
simply refresh their marshes.
I would
And
say
it's happy birthday.
I would say maybe a 30-minute cooldown instead of a 45-minute cooldown. 45 seems a little too long. If someone's willing to spend, what is it? What'd you say, 1,000 gems on that?
Hang on, how long does it take you to prepare a Meritable for a push? 20 minutes?
No,
In a good PvK?
no.
15 to 20, yeah.
I think 15 to 20. I think it should need to be around the 15 to 20. This is how long it takes to organize a Meritable. If you already use the skill, you will need it again within 15 to 20 minutes if it's really going to be effective. If it's a half an hour, you're going to use it every second push.
Might be
Imagine,
too
oh
painful.
my god, Marsh speed buff at the beginning of pass opening. Oh my lord, I love this. Sorry, I'm getting too excited.
No, keep throwing them out there.
Buff.
I'm just saying, Marsh speed buff. Imagine, pass opening,
When you're
we need to drop a
retreating.
fort. Love the Marsh speed buff.
I mean, you've
When you have a march speed buff, you can define the moments your troops, your murderable retreats, so they don't get caught off.
Oh my god, listen to that, Georgie. Already Georgie's making plans, bro! He's making plans, brother!
2377 retreats. Breaking news.
Oh, I need my sound. Where's my...
Well, you
No,
know,
I
there
love
are
this.
those moments when you prepare the retreat, so 3, 2, 1 retreat, but with the new tech, you get caught off because of enemies' march speed, and they remove the territory buff when you're retreating. So
Right.
just get
Keep going with the ideas, guys. I'm gonna run use the restroom quick.
Yeah, we need to keep... What could benefit players in the open field? In a way, Marsh speed is a huge thing. We have the damage, which is the second thing.
think a teleport skill would even be interesting, just for like the dynamic, the whole like fight.
Teleport skill? Like what is it like?
So like we already have it in AOO, so like an example like that.
Oh, okay. I can see also in the chat 200%, 2 healing factor, 3% health, like the ones we see. So, are we okay? What I'm hearing here is people maybe want to see more of the arc skills implemented within KVK story. Is that what we're saying?
It
Yeah, I
sounds
think this is
interesting.
where. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. Imagine a KVK with the Arc of Osiris. I'm sorry. Whatever plan you have for that zone, it's not gonna be the same it's not gonna be the same plan as the other team. Everybody gonna neutralize. It's gonna bring a lot. Actually, I'm getting too excited here that I need to stop because I feel like it's gonna bring back strategy. It's not all gonna be pilots and stuff. There's gonna be a little bit more of a strategy to it.
I think so. Here's the thing. In general, I like simple gameplay sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to go crazy and have all this kind of strategy. I feel like Arc gives you a lot of that, like what we're talking about. It kind of gives you that space. But what if a compromise? What if there was a KVK story that had Arc skills for your account? So you could do like weird stuff like sneaky tactics, or like I don't even know, like the.
I'm loving the idea actually. Oh no, I'm getting excited. So that's a good idea.
Vote?
I
I'm
like
getting
the
excited.
sneaky tactics. You
Yeah.
put 14 marches on their thing,
Yeah.
and suddenly they're
And you
swarming
swarm the
fort.
Swarm forts. Boom. Done.
Don't
Yeah.
forget,
Yeah.
Sneaky Tactics is already in a KVK for Keener Blades. Cav can go invisible.
I've never
Ooh.
played.
I've never played Kingdom Blade. But you see, here it is, Soul. You just see that they implemented something so cool in a very KVK. Not many people resisted into that KVK. I wish they could, like, look, we're talking about it. I don't know anything, but hey, the Troy story is coming out. Trojan War. Let's hold ourselves tight here and just see what we could see. But if they already implemented these kind of things, and I can see on the screen, if they implemented some of these skills in another KVK, there is a possibility that there could be something. Maybe that was a way of them to represent that to us in a way to see the feedback. But actually, I'll be excited to see this kind of, skills available in a KVK. But I also gonna agree with Luxter on what he said. I think Shasta or George, but I think Luxter was saying it's when it gets too much. Like I have to put my hand up. Stratagem KVK. I'm lost, brother. What are we doing here? So many things need to be changed, updates. You need the skills. It gets a little bit hectic. So I fully understand where you're coming from.
So I think you guys were going exactly where I wanted to go when I came back from the bathroom, right? Are there Arc of Osiris skills that could be utilized?
Exactly.
I mean, let's go through these one at a time. We talked about march speed. We've got running charge, where 30 allied troops in a certain area, 100% for 60 seconds. That's faster than hell. Swift stride, 50% march speed for 60 seconds for everybody. Hard push, 50% march speed, 30% more damage for 480 seconds. Imagine pushing flags. You set up 5, you border 5 enemy flags. You hit that hard, you set up a rally with anchors on the rally, you hit that hard push. You go from flag to flag to flag. That could be fun.
You see, you're already coming up with strategies. You see, Lambo, exactly what you were in the toilet, we were in the bathroom, we were saying it will bring back more strategy implemented within that KVK. It's not just gonna be 1, 2, 3.
I don't like sneaky tactics for a KVK. I certainly do not want. Or is it sneaky tactic? I don't want George and Hope and Wildline and Bad Queen dropping 30 frickin' marches in the back of my zone and building a fort. Right? I think that would be overpowered for a KVK. To the
tactics, your whole field, and then hop onto someone that's off territory.
right.
Yes.
Kingdom buff. Oh my god!
Let's go.
To the
Raptor Fish
Heaven's
Kingdom buff.
Grace
Listen to
would
the
be a
chat.
really good one.
to the death might be fun.
Oh, Heaven's Grace.
Wrap to refresh kingdom.
Giving grace, yeah, the healing. It's so good. Exodus, everybody's getting excited. Cut it out.
Exactly, we're getting really hyped here. I love the idea of having these as overall across KVKs, so it gets to the easy part. So if you make multiple KVK types and each have a different strategy, it becomes tiring and too complex. But when you have like 6 to 10 skills people can learn,
And I'm not
and it's
saying.
the same,
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to
and
interrupt.
it's the same across all KVKs, we can learn and play it easily.
And I'm not saying Heaven's Grace every 5 minutes or to the death every 5 minutes. You know, these may be 2, 3, 4 hour cooldown periods. Right? It would force you to become a little bit strategic. But I like Heaven's Grace. I like To the Death. I like Hard Push as well. I mean, to set up multiple rallies with anchors all at the same time and then move from flag to flag to flag, that would take some coordination. That would take some effort. I think war drums, I mean, a lot of these could be used because many of these are just, 480 seconds. Imagine those murder balls. Okay, what did my enemy use 4 hours ago? If I pop To the Death, are they going to counter me with Heaven's Grace? Right? And if you pop To the Death, maybe that's the only one you can do. You pop To the Death, and then, oh no, they did Heaven's Grace. Well, let's do Bog Down. Sorry, can't do two at the same time. You got to wait till To the Death goes away before you can pop another one. Or it's like the Alliance skills where if you pop To the Death and then pop another one on top of it, To the Death is gone.
Here's a random thought too, and this could be bad as well, but what if these options too, what if they expanded Alliance skills? Because we rotate the same current ones now, but like in a KBK, like that might actually matter. It might be too restrictive with the cooldown, but just a thought I had is could be opportunity for Alliance skills to be looked at as well.
And maybe instead of King skills, some of these Arco Osiris skills are those Alliance skills, which requires a 48-hour cooldown and donations, right?
Yeah.
I would also like something like Teardown to be available for the really, really long, like, territory fights where you can't kill a flag because you have a 2 billion power player sitting next to it filling it constantly.
I think that should be allowed. But I might have an biased opinion.
Sometimes with like pancaking and just territory fighting in general, it's just a pain.
Genuinely speaking, as somebody who has personally tried to fill those flags with such big accounts, it's just... Even if you do it with 2 accounts or even 3, it's not enough. You need a team to keep a flag floating. And it's 7 marches just like anyone else. And it's just it goes vertical. It's not like they have 14 marches per account. That would be terrible. So you still do need those farms reinforcing at the same time as the big ones.
So Hunky, I'm not reading you, but we're gonna do armaments and equipment on a future podcast. My intent is to invite Bajet, and I always say his name wrong, Bajet, the spreadsheet guy, when we talk about that, because he's most knowledgeable, not me. So I really like that. Adding some of these alliance skills, not master strategy, not sneaky tactics, but adding some of these alliance skills, even the gathering one, right? Gathering, I'll be honest, the biggest thing that we struggle with is gathering those freaking resource nodes that are blocking city teleport spots. Everybody's fighting. Nobody wants to gather those nodes. Nobody wants to get their farmers attacked.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest problem in KVK. So for us anyway, even the gathering one might help out. clearing those nodes to get teleport spots.
Well, Lambo, that's why you have people like me with one march and have 4 gathering marches.
Well, are you applying to come to the kingdom? Is that what I'm hearing? Solomar says they should gather instantly with gems. But no, I like that. I think a king skill could be spawn a rune at the temple, right? I think we said the kingdom skill for that siege, the cooldown should be less. I'm putting 30 minutes here. I think 15, 20 minutes is a bit OP.
Maybe king skill is too much. You can go also into alliance skills to spawn a rune. It's a beautiful idea. I just love it. Not having to wait or because at the moment putting the 15% at reset, my reset is 3 a.m. guys, and it's I don't want to have another reason to stay awake.
Yeah, and I imagine if Hope and Lions say they wanted it reset, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, but even for them, reset is hard. It's like 5 or 7 a.m. So
I think a march speed buff definitely should be a king skill that you can drop every 10, 15 minutes.
oh, yes.
Yeah. And then these other ones may be alliance skills. Okay.
And I think the march speed buff is gonna become very self-evident in about 2 months, because with the new tech and the new march speed adjustment on alliance territory that they did recently, you can see the field really not being able to retreat at the same time. And that is it. Every time you have to step back to push again, all your marches die, because the enemy's march speed is high as well. Maybe it's a specific case to higher Imperium KVKs, but that's been our experience this round.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Oftentimes we pop Unbridled Progress to get march speed. I'm sure others do as well. Or Books and Battles to
Yeah,
gain
of
an
course,
extra
yep.
10%. You can see counteroffensive we used at the altar to get an extra 10% defense.
But in this case, you want to have it on a very specific 1 minute or 2 minutes time period where you are faster than enemy. Just to reball, just to re-prepare and push again.
I think I would love a march speed buff. And they would get money from this too, right? Like these other king skills, it's 500 gems, 1,000 gems. March speed buff, 500 gems. You know, that's forcing somebody to buy gems or farm gems to pop those buffs. So yeah, nice. I think we got a good list here. I'll clean this up a bit before I send it out to you guys. Nature's Gift. I have an issue with Nature's Gift. Right, that is this alliance skill right here. Right, it spawns level 8 resource points. What's the freaking point? We have level 8s now in Home Kingdom. They need to upgrade that to 9 or 10. This should be a benefit to the kingdom and not just, oh, we have more level 8 nodes. Yeah? No?
Your note there, I think is clean and simple. Just upgrade to 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it feels kind of like the only benefit from this, and it's like a small benefit, is like, let's say that you're in a very condensed area, which a lot of people just spread out anyways, especially if you're in a very fort active kingdom. Like, people are gonna hate hunting forts, so they're gonna spread out anyways. But if you're in a very condensed area in the kingdom, then you might run out of a couple nodes, like level 8 nodes of like food or wood or something. So this kind of gives you a few more potentially, but yeah, there should be more benefit for sure.
I mean, I agree with the change that they made, not to drop like teleport spots. So I'm okay with that. But in Home Kingdom, yeah, give us something better than level 9. I mean, it used to be, right? We used to only have level 6 in Home Kingdom, and it gave us level 8s or level 7s. And now it gives us the exact same thing we have in Home Kingdom. So make the squeeze worth the juice, or make the juice worth the squeeze.
We used to only use Nature's Gift for rogues. Like, we had a rogue fort. We would just go drop it on there so they couldn't TP there.
Oh, good lord. Nice.
I've never heard of that. That's magic.
That's big brain play right there. Big brain play right there. I had one other topic on here. I know Solar, I know you got to be done by reset. Apple, you got to be done by reset. So if we need to take this to our next podcast, we can certainly do that. So you tell me if we just want to start thinking about it. You know, another thing with kingdom control, I think we may have tossed this idea around at one point in time. You know, allow the king to control who's assigned MG spots, who's assigned gold head event spots. And maybe if we eliminate rogues, this doesn't need to be done. But allow players to register for MGE, allow the king or a designated appointee to then say, okay, Apple is getting first, Queen's getting second, Lambo's getting third. And once they hit a certain number of points, that's all they get. So that may be a much larger discussion. And again, this is something that could be abused by many. But I think sometimes what we struggle with is, you know, our MGEs are very organized, right? And I don't have one here. But, you know, 15 million points is number one. I think 14.5 million is number two. 14 million is number three, so on and so forth through the top 15. Sometimes people accidentally go beyond where they're supposed to be. So we can certainly discuss that further at the next meeting, along with the other topic George had. I put it in here somewhere. I'll find it when I go through the notes. But I mean, if we're able to control rogues better in the kingdom, I don't know that we would need this.
It'll also help when people make the claim, oh, I don't read Alliance mail, so I didn't know what was happening.
Or oops, I accidentally stormed the city a little too hard, or something like they're dealing
Right.
with a rogue.
Yep.
Oops, I collected my 50K.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying maybe the top 15 spots, maybe just the top 5 spots are controlled by the king.
I mean,
So-
the top 3 spots are all that matters.
Yep.
I know we're running out of time, but as a closing note, I wanted to bring up like Zenith. I know we never, we wanted to talk at the beginning.
Yeah.
I've noticed this round there's been astronomical amount of migrations overall. So people leaving kingdoms, which is counterintuitive because the new system should have fixed this, right? The 60 million. But this Zenith, we saw more people leave ever than the previous ones. And I'm not talking just about 77, it's overall analysis.
Isn't that because the 60 million is just too high? Do you think?
Yeah, like the solution they brought, that in between parentheses in time for this not to happen, caused the largest ever migration. I would maybe also even be able to publish some stats on how much it decreased between the two Zeniths, but I was shocked to even check it.
I did have this thought that people would actually start jumping ship from large kingdoms. Like if they're just like, oh yeah, I want to win Zenith now. All right, let me go just to a bracket that's not going to be crazy. And, you know, because especially it is going to be pushing the kingdoms that would already push that, or like somewhere near that number, if that. Like they were going to do that anyways, but like that just means like it's going to be absolutely impossible for other kingdoms that are just below them, because that's gonna be the new expected, is let me hoard up a bunch of speed ups so I can actually hit that 60 mil, and then yeah, it's exacerbation. I can't even say the word. What the heck? It's making the problem way worse than it's not fixing it.
I personally, at least to kind of piggyback off of that, I think it turned into an elitist event because at this point, the only people that are going to be able to do that is High Imperium Kingdom. And instead of 10, now we're talking 50 people could potentially get the Zenith skin now. And so then it turns into this where if you can spend and you can do this, now everyone gets Zenith skin in that kingdom and it gives them an advantage.
Yep. It's massive. 60 million is way too high, just like Queen said. I did check the numbers on our KVK map. We've had plus 25 people leave our current KVK map for Zenith since the beginning of the map. And this is not only 77, of course. This is the whole map combined. So 77, 49, 606, and all the kingdoms. On average, each kingdom has like 3 people, 4 people.
What
Yeah,
I'm
that-
confused on is
Mhm.
how did they arrive at that number? Like most like
The Chinese server.
but it's obviously that's not an average, right? That's just like maybe the top like top 1%. I don't even know. Like obviously George, you would probably have the like actual stats on it, but it's like most are around like 30 mil, 40 mil maybe. I think even Lambo's showing here like 35, right? Probably 30.
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
was
confused on how they arrived at that.
this one was 12% all damage. High was 35 million, low was 23 million. This one I think was Archer Health. High was 37, low was 17. And again, this is my continent, so yours may be much, much different.
Honestly, even for us was like top 10, 40 million. 40, 45 is safe. 60 is definitely safe, but yeah.
And I understand Solar 40 million for a non all troop type skin is still quite high. Not a single one of our Zeniths have even hit 40 million. I understand what Solar is saying is that the event was more of an elitist event where only high spenders could possibly get a Zenith. In the same respect, if the person is not a high spender and the threshold is set at 40 million, that is going to cause many, many people just to hoard absolutely everything so that they can push a Zenith skin. And that is going to be a detriment to the kingdom long term if those people are hoarding speed ups and not fighting in a KVK. There may very well, like this Zenith here, and Carr was a witness. This Zenith here, I was pushing live on stream. This person, Lady Beatrix, was a 65, 70 million power player with less than 500,000 kill points. I did not want first place. I pushed to first just to prove a point that this farmer should not get first place in a Zenith. So what I have issues with, and the way we handle it in 1029, right, is we tell people, hey, if you're going to push Zenith, you better still show up to fight. If you don't, we're going to have a completely different conversation when KVK is over. I think it's nice that they have a threshold for a guaranteed city skin. In the same respect, that's going to cause people to, in my opinion, hoard and hoard and hoard so that they can push 40 million or 60 million and get a Zenith skin that they will probably not have KVK. They will not have speed ups then to use in KVK. Thoughts?
It's either that or they do the bare minimum.
I agree
and
with you, man.
You end up losing KVK because they're not actually using their speeds. Yeah, it's just all bad.
Just to put in where they got the numbers, the average Zenith in the Chinese server goes to 100 to 150 million. So that's why they got those numbers.
Yeah.
I have 4 words for that. Fuck the Chinese server. We are not in the Chinese server. You should not take data from the Chinese server. to use in the international server. Period.
There you go. Enjoy it. That's it. Can't say a bit.
Also, Lambo.
Boom, boom.
Oh, never. I was gonna say you might want to change how you said the 25 people left, so people don't think it was 25 people left. 2377.
Have left 2377's KVK.
Or maybe like change how you could say that, just to make it so people don't think it was only.
Well, I mean that might help 2377 in the next zone. Then their enemies might think that they have a chance.
Yeah, they would think KVK is over and they migrate too.
Yeah, KVK's over. 2489 players can leave now. They can go get a Zenith skin elsewhere, right?
Exactly. No need to push 60 million. KVK is over.
Yeah. I mean this.
Solimar, that's incorrect because the average Zenith, even if they take all their numbers, there's only one person that did it. It's still 30 to 40. Even for the boat, it wasn't even that high.
That's possibly true, Hunky. People saving speeds for Zenith would save either way. That you're yeah. If there's a farmer, if there's a low power player saving speed up specifically for a Zenith skin, they may not be fighting now, but hopefully Kingdoms would have dealt with that now. But I mean, say I have an 80 million power player in 1029. They don't have a Zenith skin. They really, really want a Zenith skin. They've fought every KVK up until this point. If they're dead set on a Zenith skin and they're hoarding to get a Zenith skin and it kills them in KVK, that hurts us bad. One player in this KVK not able to fight, that's huge. So I mean, I don't know what the solution is here, guys. I'm one who, if it ain't broken, don't try and fix it. I liked and yes, I'm a high spender. Okay, I liked that Zenith skins were very exclusive. Right? If we now have 30 players pushing 60 million in a single kingdom or in a single continent, those are not as exclusive anymore. I don't know. And if they start putting these old Zenith skins in the shop for people just to get at random, I'm asking for some refunds, god damn it.
It comes down to the philosophical question of why punish players for the right action. So if the right action of this game is fighting, why are they at the same time getting punished and not being able to get the rewards of Zenith? Versus encouraging people not to fight gets them the good stuff. So it's hard balance to do between like collecting and fighting, but
Absolutely.
it's not impossible.
I got a potential solution ready. KVK rewards of city skins. Yeah? Because then your hard effort. What was that? What'd you say?
Like through KVK 1 through 3 for like honor.
Oh, yeah.
Honor is already won by pilots.
I mean, everything can be technically, people have everything piloted basically, right?
Yep.
We made a joke. I need a pilot for my pilot, like, but I don't know. I think there is an issue. Like, people want to have good skins. All the epic skins are kind of just mediocre, right? Like, there's some like mid spenders that might not push really crazy high, and they might. Maybe this is just like. Maybe it's not the target audience, right? Not every person should be pushing Zenith. That's a known fact, even in the old state. But people do want cooler skins or want a little bit better skins. So I think there should be maybe some design focus on rewarding players. Maybe even like for example, this boat skin. I like this a lot. Am I gonna push for another skin? Maybe. But let's say if I was a low spender, I had a skin like this that, I had it for maybe a year or two, And now like I want a new skin. I want an update, right? I think everyone wants some kind of progress on their account. So I feel like there's
Okay, that was fun.
So Upload just
Okay. All right. Yeah. We were close to the end anyway, but I did not want to leave everyone hanging there. I sincerely hope that that Word document saved. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to rewatch this stream. Anyone have any final thoughts there? Yikes. Okay, it saved most of the Word document. Thank God. Maybe upgrade to Timu internet? Yeah, no, this PC is getting old. I really need to rebuild a new PC. By the way, there's a donation link no, I'm just kidding. That said, I think we're going to call it here. I appreciate everyone's participation today. I will compile these notes, get them off to the rest of the participants in the next 24 hours so that we can get them out to both the community and the development team. I think we had lots of good ideas today, whether it's King skills, whether it's Ark of Osiris skills, whether it's migration. It was a very good conversation from everybody, including the chat in the live stream. And I love that we're getting this type of participation. And that's all I got. You guys got anything else? All right, absolutely. I will highlight that in red. Let me see if there's anyone else streaming Rise of Kingdoms out there. Mr. Siege is streaming. You wanna go say hi to Mr. Siege? We're gonna get you over there. It says he is. Can't hear anyone? Oh crap. I didn't have the audience on. Sorry about that. So you're yeah, once again, thank you guys. I appreciate each of you. We'll do this again in, I don't know if 2 weeks is possible. I may be fighting in Kingsland in 2 weeks. We'll have to see. George will probably be fighting in Kingsland also. So we'll play it by ear and go from there. Thank you everyone for jumping on, tuning in. We're going to cut the stream now. Y'all have a great one.